Alright, so to be able to connect to Sage X3 using Google Authentication, using oAuth protocol, Google basically provides you a free authentication system. All you need to ask your customer is a account under their domain, right? So their customer, if they're using Google Workspaces, ask them to create you an account under their license. So once they create that account, you need to log into that account. So when you come to this page, you will make sure that when you go to security, you have enabled second factor authentication on this account, right? So just to make sure that you are using the latest safety and security measures, just say put your recovery phone number or your recovery email, or you can say a second step verification. You can turn that on and then use the authenticator app or push notification to your Android device. So once you have that enabled, you need to go to the developer console in the Google platform to create that project and application. Okay, so I'm going to go to this address, just pasting this into the bar here. So go to console.developers.google.com. So once you're in the Google Cloud Developer Console, you need to create a project. You'll need to go here to create a new project. That's your first step. So go to here, click this select the project button, and then click this new project button here. So give your project a name. So I'm going to give it Sage X3. So this project is going to be named Sage X3. And I'm going to see if you have an organization here, see if you can browse to that. Otherwise, you can just leave that as no organization and press create. So wait for Google to create that project. It may take a few minutes, right? So once that is done, it will automatically select that project for you. But just to make sure, you can select this button. So just select project. Get rid of this notification. So just make sure the name of your project comes up here. Now you need to go to credentials. Go to credentials and create credentials and create an oAuth client ID. Get rid of any notification that comes for the first time. Now, since this is the first time you are creating an oAuth credential, you'll need to create a consent screen. All right, so go to consent screen and choose internal as the project type. You're not going to expose this app to external parties, so just choose an internal and create. And give your app a name, so I'm going to give it Sage X3. Give your support email, choose from the list that pops up. You can choose a logo if you wish. You can ignore the rest of this fields. Just put in a support email address in there. So I'm going to put in support email address, and you can save and continue. Now, when it comes to scope, you'll need to select the very basic scopes. So click on add or remove scopes. Choose the one which says userinfo.email and userinfo.profile and click update. This is the consent screen. Just review that and go back to the dashboard. Now, if you go back to credentials, you can now go and create a credential and called oAuth client ID. Application type, choose it as a web application. Give it a name, and now in the JavaScript origins, you need to add the URI, right? So this URI basically your client's Syracuse web address. So click on the add URI and put in their HTTPS address, which leads them to X3's login screen. So this is the origins. On the redirect URIs, just copy the root address and then add AUTH and then OAuth auth2 slash. This is where you need to choose a name for the OAuth provider in your Sage X3 instance. I'm going to choose Goolge Workpsapces, and I'll tell you where you need to use this name. And login, call back with a capital C. Okay, so go to customer Sage X3, make sure you're logged in using an admin account, and go to this auth servers under administration and create a new auth service here. Now this name is what you need to copy from here, right? So this is the same name that we'll need to use across the board here. So I'm going to call it Goolge Workpsapces. And I'm going to give it a display name called Goolge Workpsapces. And this URL for authorization, I'll need to put this address. accounts.google.com/o/auth2/auth, right? So you need to put this into the URL for authorization. This is where the users will be redirected to log into Google. The next one is the same address. It's just instead of AUTH at the end, it's token. Right, so I'm going to paste that in here as well. Now when you click tab, the system will fill this up for us. I'll just make sure that it is correct. And as you can see here, this address should match what we have in here. Right, so well, apart from the the address of the website, the rest of it should basically match word by word. Just to make sure you can copy this, go here and paste it after the address of the web server. Make sure it is correct. Okay, so this is the URL in here and this is the URL here. Now when we go back to Google and create this, it will give us a client ID and a client secret. Make sure you save these somewhere safe, because this is the first time and the last time you're seeing this info. So download the JSON file if you wish and keep it somewhere safe, but you've got a client ID and client secret here. So you need to provide this to Sage X3. I'm going to click on here to copy. I'm going to go back to Sage and I'm going to put it into client ID field. We'll go back to Google and click on client secret and go to the secret and paste it here. Right? So in the scope for auth2 requests, we'll need to put in the full address of those two scopes that we added to the application. I'm going to add all these scripts to the description below. So I'm going to paste this here. So this is basically the same user info email, and you put a blank space and then user info.profile. So these are the scopes. And for the URL for requesting user data, you'll need to put in this address. googleapis.com/auth2/version1/userinfo. The next field to fill up is the user field in the username answer. That needs to be email, because we are matching the users to their X3 accounts using their email addresses. And that's all we need to do here. So I'm going to save this. Right, so it's going to be called Goolge Workpsapces. Now what we need to do in the backend is we need to go to our Syracuse node local file and make a modification in there to support Google Authentication. Now if I go to where Syracuse is installed and go to bin and find the node local file, just right click on it and click on Notepad++ there, or anything your favorite notepad or text editor. Now if you scroll to the authentication section, right now I'm supporting basic SAML 2, and you'll need to make sure that you have oAuth2 added to your list. So you need to save this and restart your Syracuse server. I'm going to stop this. So if node takes a long time to stop, it's because it's stuck somewhere. So I'm going to just go to CMD here, and sorry, I need to run that as an admin. Say task kill/f/im and node, and close that. Now if I refresh, I can see that node has stopped. I'm going to just start it from the agent. Now if I try to log out, it's probably going to fail because Syracuse hasn't started yet. So just wait for Syracuse to start. Perfect. Now, when Syracuse is started again, you have the basic login, which you will be eventually disabling, but you'll need that for now. And you will have Goolge Workspaces or whatever name you chose when you created that entity in your Syracuse. That will show as a button here. You can click on this now, but the problem is because we did not create a user account in Syracuse yet, you will get an error when you get back to Sage and saying this user account does not exist. So before we use this feature, we'll need to log into Sage X3 using a classic login like admin. And we'll need to go to administration users, and we'll need to create a new user. Now when I log out and click on Google Workspace button, it will take me to Google and ask me to choose a user account. So I'm going to click this user account, then it's going to tell me this consent screen. I'm going to continue on that, and you'll be taken back to Sage X3 and you're logged in. This error is basically because we did not create a classic Sage X3 account in setup users. Once you do that, then you will be able to use Sage X3. So ultimately, you'll need to disable classic because it's not safe. So what you need to do is go back to node local and just remove the basic authentication. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to restart Syracuse again and wait for it to start. And as you can see here, now we don't have any more of that basic authentication. Thank you so much.